Back to Ja Morant, and it's never a good sign when your best player leaves the game in a wheelchair. That's a situation Morant was in last night after spraining his left ankle in the second quarter of the Grizzlies' win over the Nets. The good news, X-rays came back negative, but the bad news revealed today Morant will be sidelined for 3 to 5 weeks after an MRI revealed a grade 2 ankle sprain. Adrian Wojnarowski joining us with more on Morant. So, Woj, last season's Rookie of the Year, out 3 to 5 weeks, which is tough news for Memphis in that Western Conference. What's the feeling inside the organization about the timeline?
Nabril, actually, listen, you'd think that, there's certainly disappointment he got injured, but anybody in that organization who was in the building in Brooklyn last night, saw how he landed on that ankle, so how he left the floor. They felt they dodged it with without a fracture in the x-rays. And there was some sense of relief today that it wasn't worse because they knew in Memphis it could have been much worse. And listen, it's a 3 to 5 week range right now is what they're saying. But that doesn't mean he can't be on the short end of that based on how it heals. But they know it could have been worse, but they're facing a difficult stretch here because not only are they without their best player in Ja Morant, they're without their second best player in Jaren Jackson Jr., who's still recovering from an offseason meniscus surgery.
Yeah, you don't want to fall too far behind in that Western Conference. Want to get healthy pretty quick. Speaking of injuries, Karl-Anthony Towns, he is out. He is sidelined for the Wolves. Kevin Love now out for the Cavs. What's the outlook on both of those players, starting with Love?
Well, Love is going to be certainly a longer stretch of time before they have any expectation he can return. That's probably minimally 3 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks is what they're saying. But, these soft tissue issues, injuries, a calf injury for him, I think you're going to see more and more of those as the league, in some cases, tightens up the schedule. Teams are playing more games in less time. And then Karl-Anthony Towns, that's a week to week. They'll look at this again Sunday or Monday, see where he is. He was very sore with that sprained wrist after the fall against the Jazz the other night. But they expect this to be a shorter timeline, and they're going to take a look really more week to week on Towns. He was playing outstanding basketball. They had won 3 straight with him in the lineup before he went out.
Can't let you go without talking about James Harden, favorite subject probably right now, and the status of his pending trade request. He's played a couple games now. What's the latest with his status?
Yeah, Houston is anxious to get him back on the floor once John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins and Eric Gordon, once they come out of COVID protocol. Right now they continue to talk to teams around the league. The Rockets do, but in talking to people even today, they're not in a rush to do a deal. Houston is very adamant about what they wanted to trade, which is a big-time young player and picks in a deal. And they don't have that right now, certainly not to the level they want. And so they're certainly willing to continue. They've got Harden back in the lineup and see what their team looks like now. Once they have everyone back, Christian Wood is off to an outstanding start to the season. Their free agent acquisition. So I think you may see Harden continue to play for these Rockets for the time being.
Yeah, and say what you want about his off-the-court antics. On the court, he has been fantastic so far this season. Thank you, Woj.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.